Well, here we are back in the workshop. I was intending on getting this video out a little bit earlier than this, I must confess, but we had to do some work, got to pay the bills somehow. Anyway, back to today's job. As we mentioned in the last video, we've got a DRO scale that we're going to be fitting onto there. That will allow us to measure the amount of up and down travel on the Quill, which obviously is not covered by the DRO. So, it's a little bit long, as you can see, so we're going to have to cut it down a bit. And I think we need to flatten these brackets out so that I can get a nice fixing on the top there to hold it. And then we shall make a bracket on the bottom to support the bottom. And then a simple little bracket over to there. Sounds good. Right, well, this is the bracket that we've got to flatten off. So at the moment it's designed to be mounted to a vertical surface. We obviously want it horizontal, so we just need to take this angle out and make that nice and flat. And luckily the bracket is held on by two small Phillips screws, which we can just undo. And that then will allow us to remove the bracket. We'll take the cover off and flatten it out, and that will be the first one. And I'm thinking we should probably do the same on the bottom, as the bracket again will be horizontal rather than vertical. So we shall modify both of these brackets and then we can get it cut down to length. And there we go, nice simple little job, just a squeeze in the vise and that straightens both of those ends out, and that gives us a horizontal mating surface. Right, I've also fitted the rear bracket and re-angled it for a little bit of clearance. So now we should be good to mark the top mount on the machine and get it on as a trial fit. Right, well, there it is, all fitted. It's fixed on the top lug now. I didn't show drilling and tapping a hole. I didn't think that was very interesting, to be fair. So now we've got it there, we obviously need to support the bottom. So now we need to make a bracket to hold that, and then we can cut it down. So we're going to need a drawing for that, I think. Let's get the calipers out. Well, in traditional chicken scratch style, there's my drawing. It's going to be a very simple bracket. It's basically just going to be a circular bracket with a tongue on the corner and a hole in it, obviously, to let the quill through. And then these two holes here will line up with these two holes that hold the front cap onto the quill. So the hole here to take the bottom bracket, we shall establish that once the bracket is fitted and the DRO is trued up, so that we know it's running nice and parallel to the quill. Then we can mark and drill that hole as the final step. So we're going to transfer this to a, I've got some 3mm aluminium sheeting, which I think should be plenty strong enough. So we're going to transfer that to there and start thinking about how we're going to make this. Well, there we are. It's all, I've marked up the plate with a few layout lines, so we know roughly what we're doing. Now, there's a number of different ways I could do this. I suppose we could rough it out on the bandsaw and then sand the edges with the linisher or a grinder, something like that. Could cut it out with a jigsaw. But to be fair, it wouldn't be much of a machining video if I did that. So I think we're going to have a little go with the rotary table on the milling machine and see where that takes us. After a bit of faffing about, we finally got the setup done. The rotary table is mounted, trued. We found the centre of it. We've got our little bit of aluminium plate mounted to a bit of sacrificial plywood, strap clamped to the rotary table, and we've got the centre of that as well. So basically we just machine the middle out, machine around the outside and finish off the tongue. Well, there we are. So a little bit of deburring and it fits lovely. Bolted to the underneath there, plenty strong enough. So now we can get this marked up and get it cut down to length and then make the final arm. Job done. As I keep mentioning about cutting this scale down, as luck would have it, you can cut them, but you do have to cut them with a grinder, because the edges are hard and there's a good chance that you'll blunt whatever you try. So the use of a grinder, nice and quick with a very thin slitting disc, and you can cut them to suit. Just like that. Right, there we are, there's our shortened scale fitted. We just clamped at the bottom here for the minute until we can adjust it. So that hopefully will be in the right place. We've made up a little cranked arm. I'm not going to use the original bracket off the back, it just makes life complicated. So we've got this nice little cranked arm to go in the back there. So we'll get that fitted on. Once that's fitted, we can mark and drill our hole in the bottom and we're good to go. Hee. Right, well there we go. We've got our arm in place now. Put the fine feed wheel back on. I've drilled the bottom hole. Everything's nice and set up. And there we go, look at that. Absolutely wonderful. Perfect. I can even use the depth stop still, that still works. And obviously the quill lock lever is clear. So that will help in drilling holes and counter bores and stuff like that. Absolutely perfect. Cheers. So what's next? Well, there is one more thing, and I've bought one of these. And this will be automatic drawbar. So that'll be next. And that'll make changing the tooling a lot easier. But until then, from Warco and myself, keep making.